Hello, everybody. My name is Benga Akinduro. I'm the lead instructor for this Excel training. So I'm trying to launch the Excel application now. So most of the time, I use the search. I use the search bar where I type in the name of the particular application I want to launch. And this is the startup screen. So the startup screen, we have the blank screen. Majorly, you want to open a blank workbook. You want to open a blank workbook. Workbook is another word for a document in Excel. So you can name your workbook to suit the kind of record you have inside the workbook. And inside the workbook, the blank workbook, we have what is known as the worksheet. And inside the worksheet, we have our cells. And a cell is the intersection between a column and a row. So these are columns. We have column A, B, C, D to A, whatever. And I think we have 16,384 columns. And we have 1,480,576 rows. So we are saying we have 16, 3, 8, 4 columns. So we're going to get to A to Z, and after A to Z, I think we are going to start with A, B, and A, B, A, C till AZ. Then we now start with B. Okay, till AZ, we now start with BA, BP, BC, and that one also goes on and on like that. I don't want to scroll to the end. In fact, it's going to take my time. So that's the number of columns that we have, and we have 1,048,000. That is 1,048,000 and 576 rows. So we have the rows. As I'm scrolling, I'm using my mouse to scroll, and I can scroll all the way down to 1 million plus rows. So these are the records that it can carry. It's different from other databases that Excel is a flat file database. Anyway, we have relational database that can contain more and more, what do you call it, rows and columns. But for Excel, right now we're having 16,000 columns, 16,000 plus columns, and 1 million plus rows. And again, I said row is the intersection between the column and a row. Like where my cursor is right now, at this point, we are on column D, row 3. So we call this D3. So that's the name of the cell. So this cell is going to be cell D3. The cell is cell D3, looking at the column D for the column and 3 for the row. So the intersection it's what we refer to as an Excel cell. Still talking about the workbook. Inside the workbook, like I said, you can open a new Excel workbook. If you want to open a new Excel workbook, just click on blank document. So if you notice, the first one we have was workbook 1, book 1, and I just opened another one now. It's going to be called book 2 until you save it and rename it. I will show you how to save and rename. And again, inside the workbook, you can decide to go to your file, then click on open. And when you click on open, you might want to open what are the recently opened file, documents that you have opened down before. Like I have advanced formulas in Excel, I have a sales data original, I have Excel formula bootcamp, and I have so many other Excel documents here. But really, if what I'm looking for is not here, because these are labeled recent workbook that I've opened, I can decide to click on browse and look somewhere else. Like I have one for audits, I have book one, and if I know the where I have my documents, I can navigate. This is what if analysis. I have my pivot table. I can just navigate to the exact place I want to. I kept the file and pick it up and open it. So that's just how to open another Excel document inside Workbook. We're in Workbook 1. So let me go back. So you can, like I said, you can have a new, you can click on a new document. When you go to file, you can open an existing document. And if you can save and save as. This document have not been saved before, and so I just click on save as. By default it will want to go for save as, and now browse to the particular destination I want to save this particular document in. So I want to save it inside maybe if it's a document that I want to be seen when I log on to my desktop, then I can change the name to I can just call it my desktop Excel. Let me make it capital Excel, desktop Excel. I can save it, and inside the workbook I can decide to protect my workbook. I don't want fine, it's on my desktop and I don't want people to just have access to it at will. So I can decide to password it. I'm setting on my password now. So password to open, so the person needs to provide this password to open, and he needs to provide this password also when he wants to modify my document. So it's going to be somebody I've given my password to, and it's asking me to re-enter my password. My note, you have to remember your password. After doing that, then I've set the password. I can now click on save. So when I click on save and let me close my windows. Upon closing my windows, I named it what? Again, my desktop Excel. I open my desktop Excel and it's asking me for the password. That is going to protect your document, but you have to be careful with passwords, because if you forget your password, you need to know how to crack it open. So that's that about the workbook. You can change the page layout. You can go to theme. We have so many themes here that you can change it to, so that it changes the looks and the feel. And sometimes you can decide to color it. We are going to talk about formatting later, not in this particular course. But this particular course is just to introduce us to what Excel looks like. We call these are what we call the tabs. At different tabs, we have ribbon. Ribbon, you can decide to hide your ribbon if you don't want, and you can customize your ribbon. So I right clicked and I look at, okay, I want to collapse the ribbon. And I can come back here and I do show tabs and ribbon. There is a particular button here for ribbon display options, or I right click. But when I right click, you discover that when I collapse my ribbon and I'm right clicking here again, it's not coming up. So you have to go to this button and you have to show your tab or show your ribbon. So inside the ribbon, we have groups of commands. Like for this theme, we have the theme group of command, we have the page setup group of command, we have the scale group of command, and inside each tab we have different groups of command that you can actually execute. Like inside insert, I can decide to make a table, because by default these things, let's say we have I have my name. Let's say I have my name. I have the other trainer's name, Wale, and let me say I've done like 45 training this year so far on Excel, and Wale I've done, let's say, 23. so far. And we can't just call this a table. This is not a table. You have just entered inside Excel sheet. To turn it to a table, you can come to insert and just click on table. And although we are going to treat table later, not in this course, and I will tell you the importance of table as against this raw data that I have. So we have the home tab. So again, if you want to, when I was launching my Excel, I have the welcome screen. And if I don't want my welcome screen, I can go to file. Let me go again. I can go to file, options, and for my option, I can decide to say show the start screen. And if I want to check it, I don't want to show this. I don't want to show the start screen again. So if I close this now, okay, I'm saving it. And anytime you want to close a document and you have not saved the recent changes you've made on the document, it will ask you to save. So I'm launching again, but if you discover I don't have the start screen again where you have to choose my blank workbook, it just takes me straight to the blank workbook. And some people, sometimes you might want to just have your start screen, because apart from the blank workbook, we have I think we have some templates. I'm closing it back. Let me open. So 1, 2, 3. Is it giving me? Oh, let me open a new one. Okay, because this is a document before. So let me open. I want you to see the start screen. Let me open a new Excel workbook. So now this is the start screen. We have some pre-designed templates in Excel. You have your invoice, you have your forecasted sales. You can just open any of these templates and modify or use it to build your own particular template. But really, I just want to, when you are starting with Excel, you want to go with the blank. So you want to go with the blank. So this is the blank workbook, and I said we have cell inside worksheets. Worksheet, we have by default it comes with one worksheet. You can rename your worksheet and you can have more worksheets inside a workbook. So by clicking on the plus sign, I have my worksheet 2, worksheet 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can actually remove them by right clicking and going to delete. Right click, I click on delete, right click, I click on delete, right click and click on delete. And I can decide to, if we both own this workbook, and I need to rename our worksheet. Let's say I rename it, I make it my worksheet. And Mr. Wale also can go and rename its own to be what? His own worksheet, such that I know and I can protect my worksheet by passwording it and selecting some options that I want users to do anytime they want to look at my worksheet. Like I said again, you have to be careful when you're passwording. So that's that about workbook and worksheet. So let's do some basic Excel stunts, calculations, stunts, and what have you. Like we said, this is a cell. You can have a cell range. And when you want to have a cell range, you just go to the middle of a cell and hold your mouse down and just drag it to your desired range. So this is like a range. I can decide to have, let's say from A1 to let's say E15. If you still remember our cell reference, A1 to E15, I can select a range like that. And I can select different ranges inside the worksheet that are not connected. Ranges that are not connected. Let's say I have from my C and from P3 to C7. And if I want to pick another range again, I hold down my control key, then I click and drag another range. If I want another range, I hold my control key down, click and drag those other range or any other range I want to have. So the key thing here is holding down the control key, and I can have it different. If I want to pick different cells, I can just hold down my control key and start picking different cells. Maybe you have some record you want to pick and look at them well. This is how to just pick them. You hold down the control key and you pick your range or the different cells you want to pick. So the A, B, C, D column, I call it column, we call it the column header. So I can decide to select a particular column by going to, if I want to select the O colon C, I go to the column header, see the arrow, you see that my cursor have changed to a down arrow. I just click. Once there's a change, that means I'm clicking the whole range of about 1,000,000 plus records. I can click and drag and hold it down and drag. So I'm clicking C, D, E, F, and G down the whole records. And for the row, also, let me click outside. I can go once the arrow changes and it's looking towards the right, then I can click and thereby selecting the whole row. So we said we have 16,000 rows there. I can hold it down and go from 3 to 8. 3 to 8. So those are some of the basic things we want to do here. And then we'll be looking at entering value. Normally just to enter value, but you need to note that when you are entering figures, by default they are aligned to the right. But if it should be character or letters, let me say letter G, then they will align to the left by default. We'll talk about changing the alignments if you want to change the alignment, but by default this is how they respond. So some basic calculation on Excel includes addition. For example, I want to add 4 plus 5, so I can decide to just say 4 plus 5. But this is bad in Excel because it's better you use a formula, because you are just doing calculations, direct calculation here. Well, I'm not using formula. So if I change this letter to 6, if somebody comes in and if it's not a formula, I change this number to 6, there won't be an effect at the total. This is supposed to go up to 11, but it's not going to have effect at the total unless I change it back to 4, which 4 plus 5 will give us 9. But we don't want this. So we have what's called Excel formula. Instead of doing that, I will just say equals to, or some people can just use the minus sign. So but me, I prefer equals to. Then I'll say the cell reference is A1. I want to add A1 and what? Plus B1. And okay, A2 rather. Once I click on enter, I still have my 9, and let me do that my experiment again. If I change this to 6, you'll see that formula is better. The formula I've changed it to 11. That's why formula is better in Excel, so that you can have what is known as consistency in your record. Because if you are not using formula, if you are adding manually, and maybe in future some records needs to change, and upon changing them, you discover that it won't have effect on the total, on the average, or whatever you decide to calculate at the total column or total cell. So that's basic calculation, summing it up. Um, Still talking about calculations, we can decide to use another formula instead of using that straight formula like that. Let's say I have more than 3 records. I have 4 records to be precise. So I can't be saying naturally I can say A1 colon. No, it's not. So I want to do sum. So I don't want to start saying A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. Mine is going to let me check my formula. Okay, so there's an error in my formula. I didn't put the one A1, so it's giving us 20. But instead of doing that, we have a function in Excel called the sum function. We're just putting sum A1 colon A4. The column will wrap everything, put it in a range, and you close your bracket. You can see that I'm picking it from A1 to A4, and I hit enter. So if any record changes here, the final results will change. So if changes to 58, the final record will change. So that's the sum function. The same thing you can do the subtraction function. Or before doing the subtraction function, I can have another record on the C column that says 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. And I want to sum up these values also. I can do what is known as copying Excel formula. I right click on where I have my formula. I right click on where I have my formula. I click on copy. I come to where I want to paste it, and I don't really like doing ordinary paste. Ordinary paste will work, but I prefer I have paste, normal paste. I have the paste value, which you paste the 75 I'm copying. It's not pasting the formula, but I prefer to paste formula. So immediately I paste formula, then it will apply to the C column. I also hope I'm not too fast. In fact, the essence of this is to get feedback from you guys, whether my first time recording Excel, because most of the time I have it interactive. Nobody's asking questions, nobody's raising talking about some form of opinion or whatever. But this is just how to copy formula in Excel. And before we go into other operations, okay, let me talk about the negative operations. So you can just use the negative sign if you have 4 and 6 here, and I want to do the operations. I'll just say equals to what I want to say E1 minus E2, and the formula will give us -2. Simple like that. So before I talk about other operations, we are not really talking about other operations that much. I just want to tell you about how to autofill some things in Excel. Like in Excel, if I want a unique number in this particular A column, I can just type in 2, and I want 2 all around, all through, maybe to up to 20 records. Then I just go. So let me try it again. I do Ctrl Z to undo. I go back. If you look at my cursor, the cross sign changes to black, and it's blending with the. So what I'm actually targeting is something like a dot at the end of the cell. And once my cursor changes, I click, hold it down, and drag down That is, I want this unique value. But if I want incremental value, let's say I have one, maybe this is my column for serial number. So I have to put in at least two records, select the range, do the operations as in looking at the end of the cell, ensuring that my cursor cross have changed to dark. Then I drag down, click, hold down, drag down, and that will go on incremental basis. One increment. If I want three increments, I'll just say this is 1 4. So three increments will just be, I select the range, I go to the base, my cursor have changed, then I drag down, and I'm having 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 3 10, 13, 16, 19, and so on like that. And you can also do it for today's date. If you want to look at the next, I think today is 11 to 2023. So I have it, and this is not going to be unique. It will increase the date. So today is 2nd of November 2023. If I click and drag, it keeps increasing the date. So let's say I have 20 days to work. So which date am I going to finish the work? I want to know. Then I drag it down. This simply means the space is not enough. When you are seeing this pound sign, it means the space is not enough. I can just decide to go to the column header. You look at my arrow have changed. I click, I hold it down, I drag. Or better still, because I can give too much space, better still, once I'm there, I just double click. That will give us a perfect space for that particular column and any record that is there. Unless we have another record that is even bigger, then it will turn that record to pound sign. But so let's say we want to know 7 days from now, 11th to 2023, 7 days from now. That's 2 plus 7 will give us 11, 9, 2023. I click the range, I come here, and this guy will go on incremental. I think we have entered 2024, 11 days. So 11 days from now will be 9th. From now will be 16th, 23. Already set, so that rather 7 days from now, 30th till enter 2024. Okay, and God will help us to reach that year and make money, either remote jobs. And by the way, I have some. I have this website. You can go to Indeed. Once you go to Indeed, you can go to remote sites, and in fact, these are remote sites where, like, these people, they are looking for lead data analyst trainer. Going to be remote. The office is in Lagos, but they don't want you physically. You can, if you know your data analysis well, you can apply, and you get the job. They need strategy analysts, and this person also you need to do before you can do that. You need a bit of data analysis so that you can make data analysis about looking at the data to make informed decision. Yeah, another company here, they are looking for data engineer. Another company, these are remote jobs. They are looking for research analyst. They are looking this other value gate consulting in Abuja. They are looking for social media marketing interns, and we have so many remote jobs out there that people are looking, organizations are looking for. They need people to come and fill it. Some are part-time, some are full-time, but these are all remote jobs. Let's go back to our Excel. So that's that about basically how to have autofill some things, and once we move on, we'll see more. So I'm deleting everything, and I want to talk about moving your range. Let's say I have these 1, 3, 5, yeah, and it's not supposed to be on this column. So they are on column E, and I want to put them in column A. I can just come, look at my arrow will change, come to the edge, pick it, click, hold it, drag it, and come and put it at A instead of repeating the effort. I just click and drag. If I don't want it, select the range. I want to put it at J. I come, I drag it, I put it at the J column. That's talking about the moving your range or moving your cell. You can have individual cell here. Oh no, no. Okay, I can click and drag and put it at my desired location. I can pick it from here, take it back to A. I can decide to distort this and put it at the end there. So you can do that's how you can just move in your range. And I think lastly for today, before we talk about formatting any other time, I will want to talk about the operator precedence. Operator operator precedence. Operator precedence. And the operator precedence uses this concept called put it PEDMAS. In Nigeria, I think we use PODMAS. Either way, they have the same thing. Brackets. In Nigeria, yeah, I think in the US they use parentheses. So this is anything bracket, anything in brackets is treated first. That's other precedence. Exponent. That's E. We have order in Nigeria. Exponent. I think exponent or exponential, and here we use order. So order could be powers, raised to powers, um, finding roots, anything that is not the basic operation of addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. They are referred to as orders. So parentheses, exponent, or order. D, division, multiplication. Although we are not saying really division is heavier, is greater than multiplication. No, they are together, the same thing as addition and subtraction. But what happened is, order of precedence again, once you have division and multiplication in a calculation, then it takes it from the system looks it from left to right. We work from left to right. So the one we see first is what we are going to use out of division and multiplication. The same thing with AS. Addition and subtraction, we look from left to right. Left to right. So they carry equal weight. So that is the order's precedence. So for example, do you have any example here? Okay, let me delete all this. I have two calculations that will give you two different results. Let me say I have this 5, 6, and 7, and on C I have 5, 6, and 7. So if I want to do this calculation here, I go to my put equals to, and I want to do A1. I want to multiply. You use the asterisk or your keyboard 8. You hold down your shift key and press 8. It's going to give you the asterisk. It stands for multiplication. So I want to multiply that by A2, and I want to add A2 plus A3. So mathematically, we said order of precedence, this will apply first, working from left to right. So this will be what? 5 times 6. I think that's 30. 30 times 7, that's 210. I think. What am I doing? Let me see. Oh, no, it's addition, so don't mind me. 5 times 6 plus 7, 37, not 210. I thought this is multiplication also. And mind you, if you want to edit your formula, I can just go to the formula bar here and do your editing. So, and this, we have the same value here, but this will give different results. If I put it like, in parentheses, I have A1 multiplied by, no, I'm not doing A1. I'm doing C1 multiply by C2. I close my parentheses and I add the result to C3, and I click on enter. I'm having the same result. Okay, yeah. Okay, no, that's okay, let me go to my formula bar. This is what I want to show you. Not this. I want to say C1. Okay, I want to say C1 multiply. Okay, this will change the scope totally. So now, order of precedence will look at, because they are in parentheses, it will look at C2 plus C3 first. That's 6 plus 7, which will give us 13, and 13 times 5, which will now give us 65. The same value but different result because of operation, or because of the operator. So order of operator takes precedence. I don't want it to be too long. I think let's wrap it up. Yeah, we'll meet next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye. We'll see you next time.